What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of The Bottom Line View, joined by my buddies. We got the whole crew here. We got Kessel, we have Trent, Dylan with two hats on, and Adam with one hat on. We're here to recap the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-1 victory over the Nashville Predators. Game number 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I just want to get right into it, guys. I just want to get right into it. What did you guys think of this game? No crazy intro, no fancy anything. What did you guys think of this game?
This was a weird game, bro. I mean, I was getting into it early, and then the third period happened, and it became the NBA playoffs, like AC said. So, yeah, not as entertaining as Monday night.
Well, it was an interesting game for sure. I mean, the first two periods, it was competitive. You could have said that either one of these teams could have won this game. You could have said maybe Nashville had the edge. And if you're a Penguins fan, you are super excited with that third period that you absolutely dominated in the first 3 minutes. And if you're a Predators fan, well, those were the longest and most harsh 3 minutes of your entire lives so far, because you actually got proven that, you know what, you are facing up against a really tough team. And I made a prediction going into this game that has kind of stand by my prediction for the series, that whoever was going to win game 2 was going to win the series, and Pittsburgh dominated the third period, meaning that they won game 2, which means that I still think that they are going to win this series. And yeah, Pittsburgh, they continued on looking like that dominant team that if you give them an inch, they take a mile. So Pittsburgh, they looked really, really good tonight, especially in that third period.
This game was this game was interesting because for the first two periods it was even, and I think one of the things that will be forgotten is Matt Murray kept the Penguins in the game. Quite frankly, not really quite frankly, but the Penguins again went 9 minutes without a shot, and the Predators, I don't know why they decided to do what they do in the third period, but they took a lot of chances. They didn't need to take the chances that they did, and the collapse happened, and the Penguins dominated the third period and are going to Nashville 2-0, which I think was what if I was Pittsburgh, you need to be 2-0 going to Nashville, because I think that Nashville crowd in game 3 and 4 is going to be something to remember. So full marks for Pittsburgh, really to being opportunistic. Not a lot of opportunities in the first two periods, but they took advantage of it. And they have put Nashville in a very interesting position for 2 days off, because the big question now, and I'm sure Adam is going to lay into this a little bit more, so I'm just going to lay off the softball. Here's the pitch, Adam. What do you do with Pekka Rinne?
No, and you know what? I'm just thinking now that it's midnight. The carriage just turned into a pumpkin. The story is over for the Nashville Predators. I understand what you say with the home ice advantage, Nashville, but also Nashville's never lost 2 games in a row at any point in the playoffs. So we're even reaching different territories. And it's not that they lost, it's the way they're losing. Outplaying a very good team. And when you have the Pittsburgh Penguins on the ropes, you have to put them away. And they weren't able to do that, and getting off to bad start in game 1, obviously coming back. But I don't think that comeback means anything in game 1, because obviously the Guentzel goal. And then in this game, I thought that Nashville did outplay them in the first 2 periods in a way, but the way the defense are working with Murray and giving him clean looks, I don't think there were a lot of like grade A scoring chances. I think a lot of the saves Murray made, he's playing really fundamentally sound. And then for Nashville, where's Forsberg? Where's this great defense we've seen? I've just seen mistakes, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are the great team. They're the Stanley Cup champs, and they're playing like it. And I just don't see a way where the Predators can even win 1, but I don't see them even coming close to even 6 games.
Mitch, we have another guest. He has just entered the door.
Okay, after this great guest comes in and let us know how it is, I want to speak.
Boom! It's boom! Stop it right there. Roman Josi, he takes a risk there, and then boom, Guentzel goes in, boom, he scores, boom, goal. Then another boom, boom, another goal there, and then you take Subban has a fight with Malkin. Malkin goes boom, knocks out Subban. Subban throws water, boom, game over, boom. John Madden, thanks, John. Thank you, John. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, John. All right, to carry on what John was saying, basically what he was saying was when you play the Pittsburgh Penguins style of hockey, you get burned. What happened in the third period? The Nashville Predators try and run and gun with the Penguins. They try and outskill the Penguins. They try and score with the Penguins. You're going to get blown the F out. What happened when the Senators tried to play with the Penguins the same style that the Penguins play? They got blown the F out. What happened when the Washington Capitals tried to play like the Pittsburgh Penguins? They got blown the F out. What happened when the Columbus Blue Jackets tried to play like the Pittsburgh Penguins? They got blown the F out. But what the Senators did that the Predators didn't do in this series, the Predators have done this twice. They did it in the first period of last game, and they did it in the third period of this game. They tried to play like the Penguins. They tried to go back and forth, fast style of hockey, playmaking, passing, shooting, scoring. You got to slow down the game against the Penguins like the Senators did. The Senators grinded it out against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's why they forced them to the very edge of the earth in that series, because they played their game. They didn't deviate from it. And as soon as Nashville deviated from their game, boom, Pittsburgh goal, boom, Pittsburgh goal, Pittsburgh goal. And when Pittsburgh gets on a momentum roll, they're hard to stop. Doesn't matter who's in net. Rinne can play great. Rinne can play bad. It doesn't matter. And can I defend Rinne a little bit? I know he hasn't been playing great, but to defend him, the only goalie that's played good against Pittsburgh is Anderson, and he even had a couple of bad games in the series. So you look at Holtby, he played like garbage, and he was considered one of the best goalies in the league, if not the best goalie. And then in the first round, they played Bobrovsky, might win the Vezina this year. He played like poop as well. So is it Pittsburgh's ability to score on limited opportunities, or is it Rinne playing poorly? Because the first game, I said it was Pittsburgh's ability to score because those goals didn't look like Rinne could have saved them. In this game, you could debate it because the first goal, that was kind of unlucky. Maybe he could have saved that one. There were a couple of goals that maybe he could have saved, but again, there were deflections. They were through the legs. They were through this and that. Malkin sniped it. Great goal. I mean, it's debatable, but I don't think, like Adam said, you can blame it all on Rinne. I think the defense is kind of.
I didn't blame it all on Rinne. Just to.
No. I said, like you said, you can't blame it all on Rinne.
Yeah.
I think the defense during that course of the third period made a ton of mistakes. They gave up way too many odd man rushes, which Pittsburgh scored on a couple of those. Their offense, they're not getting enough good opportunities. We talk about shots this, shots that, shots this, shots that. What about actual scoring opportunities? How many of those did they have in this game? Not many. That's what Adam said. A lot of clear shots at Murray. And Murray, who's really the great goalie in this series? Is it Matt Murray or is it Pekka Rinne? I'll leave you with that. You guys can talk about that for a while, and then I'll get back to it.
Well, just first of all, too, can we talk a bit about what adversity has Nashville faced? I think they've had kind of a cakewalk to this final. I missed the preview, and I missed game one, but that's what I was going to say is, yes, they beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Well done. But you beat them because Pekka Rinne had a 980 and played unbelievable, and the Blackhawks played the 4 worst games of the season. And then you play the Blues with subpar goaltending, a pretty decent team. And then you play Anaheim, decent team, but still, Gibson was probably the worst player on the ice every single night for that. So what has Nashville truly done to think that they're going to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins? That's what I just been thinking throughout this, going into this playoffs or going into the Stanley Cup final.
Well, I'm not defending Nashville, but this is what I'll say. They won 3 rounds. They overcome a huge injury of Ryan Johansson. They had 2 big comeback victories. They've fought. I think what's attracting people in Nashville and giving people hope is their ability to come back in the way that they just don't give up. I think that's it. I don't think that there's anybody. I don't think none of us here picked Nashville to win. So I think everyone here picked Pittsburgh.
Can I help you there, Kev? I think Nashville was clearly the underdog.
Mhm.
Everybody knows they were the underdog.
Yeah, I think people gave them too much credit.
People were picking them because they saw how they played. And let me say this. The Western Conference, me and Trent have been saying it all year, Puck It Up podcast, it's not the greatest conference in the world. We've been saying how the Eastern Conference is probably the stronger conference all year long. Nashville, what people were impressed about is the way that they finished their series. They won in 6, they won in a sweep, they won in 6 again. So it was kind of like relatively fast. They had a great defense. They didn't allow a lot of goals. Their goalie was playing unreal. So people were factoring in those factors. All right, if Rinne can stand on his head, if this defense can shut down Crosby and Malkin, if this and that, then the Predators have a great chance of beating Pittsburgh. But then people didn't really think about, at this point in time, now up 2-0, people keep talking about other teams' resiliency, whether it's Ottawa, whether it's Nashville, whatever team, what about Pittsburgh's resiliency? This is the most resilient team in the league. All right? So I think they're made to be champions. And like Adam said, we haven't seen Nashville really do anything quite like Pittsburgh has able to overcome, not only this year, but last year as well. So going to the comments section, before we do respond to some of the things I said there, I just want to get some shout outs to people. CBR Paul is in here. He says, "What's up, dogs? How about that Malkin goal, huh, boys?" The Nashville goal is pretty nice as well, which Kev will tell you. Josh says, "Preds fans are panicking. LOL. Bodo put some Penguins in the chat. He says, still don't like the 0-7 on the power play for the Penguins. If you think Rinne isn't starting game 3, you're drunk." Josh says, CBR Paul says, "Malkin's goal was so smooth, though. You just knew he was going to score when he came in." Bodo says, "Murray is the 5th fastest to win 20 games, 20 playoff wins, 20-7. CBR Paul says, "Pittsburgh is 6-1 when they're outshot by at least 10 shots." Manil says,
That's crazy.
my buddy Manil says, "Rinne is no Martin Jones." Of course, he's a Sharks fan. And then he puts 2016 Sharks are greater than 2017 Predators.
100%. That's correct. 100%.
I think so too. I think the Sharks this year were stronger than any team that was in the Western Conference this year, because I actually thought the Sharks were pretty strong. They had a pretty balanced lineup, and Martin Jones proved to be pretty good. Vaughn Hook said, "Hey, Mitch, do you read my comment from yesterday's video when you was doing your top 10 NFL head coaches of all time?" I'll get back to you on that. I probably did, but I just didn't respond. I'll get back to you on that one, bro. But I want these people to Adam and Trent. I want to hear from Trent. I want to know what he thinks. What do you guys think of these comments and anything that we've said previously?
Come on, Fitty. We gotta hear the voice of Fitty,
I mean, all the comments are very interesting. Sharks were better than the Nashville Predators. Yeah, I'd say I agree with that. But I mean, give the Predators some credit. I mean, we haven't seen them at their home ice yet. Yes, it hasn't been all Rinne's fault. I'm completely 100% behind you guys. Yes, I probably did give their defense a little bit too much credit going into the series. But I knew that the Penguins, you know what? When the Penguins are playing their game, you're going to get burned. And if you give the Penguins their opportunities, you're 100% going to get burned. And yes, we did see that from Ottawa. Yes, we did see that from the Blue Jackets. And yes, we did see that from the Capitals. The thing about the Senators that I really liked, though, was that they altered their game immediately after they got burned. The Nashville Predators, you know what? They got really burned during that first period of the first game. Then they altered their game, so then they tied up the game, almost went it to overtime, but weren't able to on a great shot by Jake Guentzel for the last game. This game, they were playing hard. They were playing their game all the way until the third period when, yes, they finally decided, you know what? Let's try to play Pittsburgh's game. But yes, they ended up getting burned. So it's the kind of thing where Predators, it's interesting to see what they're going to be doing in game 3. Absolutely, you have to go with Rinne, because I'm sorry, Saros, he is not that starting goaltender just yet. I mean, Saros is that starting goaltender for the next 5 or 6 years as your backup right now. You have to go with the hot hand of Pekka Rinne. It's not like a Matt Murray, Marc-Andre Fleury situation where you have 2 great starting goaltenders where, either one you probably will have a good chance of winning. Rinne's your guy. You have to go with him in game 3. And a big factor about Smashville is they've only lost 1 game, and that was in overtime. And anything can happen in overtime. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold themselves in that game 3 against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Just before
So
we're
now
done with this stuff, I was just going to respond. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that you're switching goaltending. I'm saying the questions about Rinne's ability to stop the puck for the next 2 days is the biggest story going into the next round. That's the problem that you're having. It's not you're switching goalies. You're running with Rinne, but are you confident running with Rinne? That's the question.
Here's the thing I saw. I think he just got into a too big of a moment too quickly. I mean, 10 seconds in the third period, shot was made. Everybody's going crazy in Pittsburgh. Maybe it changes going into Nashville. You know, you want to see that crowd, want to be in that home momentum. Maybe something changes for Pekka Rinne. I want to see how that.
I can't take you seriously with those hats on.
Bro, I can wear anything and make myself serious.
Can you take a hat off, please?
Fine, I'll wear a cap. Yeah, I'm coming.
All right, go ahead.
You see, guys, you see this? He's trying to ruin my creative motion, and then I just don't fuck with stuff. But all right, anyways. So I'm interested to see how that changes going into Game 3. The Nashville crowd, always a home crowd will be a bigger difference. I'm going to relate this to a baseball analogy because I watch it quite a bit compared to hockey. My Texas Rangers back in 2010, you know, we were the underdogs coming in. We played some hard series, but weren't looked at very appropriately and lost in 5 games to San Francisco, who was pretty dominant that season. So perhaps this could be the same season, or it could be the underdog story. But, you know, last year's sports, I've seen pretty much everything from finishes. So 3-1 blown leads, last-second shots and throws. Nashville might come back, but to me personally, they just don't know how to capitalize from what I've seen. Because it's been it was 1-1 in the second period. I'm waiting for them to get there. They couldn't. There was not a lot of open shots, and when Pittsburgh was able to capitalize in third, it was all over. So that's what I saw.
Can I just bring up something of a criticism though of Nashville that I think also came through tonight? Can I criticize PK Subban? I know that he's the patron saint out there, but he did not have a good game. And these are the situations that you kind of see why Montreal trades this guy. That was completely a dumb move with Malkin. I don't think he had a good game.
It was a great hug, I'll tell you that.
Pardon me? What's that?
I said it was a great hug, I'll tell you that much.
Rusev would be proud, but I just think that that matchup with Crosby, Subban, like if there was a coaching adjustment, you can't have Subban matched up with Crosby. Like, Crosby's having him for breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, evening snack, morning snack, and a cup of coffee. It is a complete mismatch.
I disagree. I actually think that Crosby wasn't a huge factor in this game as much as we think, and in other games. Even, you know, Malkin was obviously a lot more noticeable going against. I think that's what the matchup Laviolette wants, right? Is Josi going against the Malkin line, and obviously have Subban and Crosby. Because I didn't think Subban didn't do that.
I thought Crosby was better last game, to be honest.
100%.
Yeah, I thought Crosby was good tonight, but I thought he was better last game.
Yeah, and then what I'll add with Nashville going back home, I think everything kind of changes because they didn't even lose 2 games all playoffs. That just happened. That didn't happen. So I think that kind of changes things too. The way they played. And let's be honest, Pekka Rinne is a subpar goaltender. He used to be great. He had a great playoff run. But, you know, this season, 31, 19, and 9, 2-4-2 goals against, a 9-18, and only 3 shutouts. He's had 2 shutouts already in the last 14 games. I'm just saying he's coming back down to earth, and for them to win, I'm not saying it's all their fault, but he's got to make some saves.
Rinne is saving 78% of the shots this series, and he's never beat Pittsburgh in his life.
He beat them once. He beat them once when he had to come in like for 5 minutes during a game, and Nashville ended up being.
That doesn't count.
But he beat them once, technically.
He is 0-9. I think it's 0-9.
Now he's 0-7-2.
Dylan, what the hell is that? I'm gonna.
I just have a stack of hats, but
you kids out there.
All right, let's get to the chat real quick. Okay, so responding to Mr. Von Hook. I did respond to your comment, bro. Go check the video. I respond to your comment. You said Bill Belichick is the biggest cheater of all time. And I said,
Wow.
and then basically what I have to respond to you is kiss the rings. But what I commented was,
Which one? Do you own some rings? Where are yours?
I actually own one national championship ring. Would you like to see it?
No, I'm saying that the Patriots rings. I just want to see, like, where are they? Are they hidden away somewhere?
No, I don't have them. Belichick has them.
The
I
Seahawks
got
have
the
a ring, but
jersey.
It's Belichick
decline.
rings, not my ring.
I got the jersey back here, guys. I stole the jersey. It's in the closet. It's in the Dilly Dilly closet.
I want to respond to him by saying this. I re-commented your saying, and I just knew you were going to say that because I know you hate my Patriots, you hate my Penguins, you hate everything that I stand for, but you still watch my videos. So thanks, bro.
Hey, bro, we all have our haters out there. We have our Fiddy haters, our Adam haters, our Kevil haters.
I think he we're in a love-hate relationship, me and Mr. Von Hook. Then we have Bobby
Let
T.
me ask you a question, though.
I want to finish these comments. Can I finish?
Okay, I have a question for you, though.
Okay. Bobby T says Penguins will win Game 3 in triple overtime. Bobby, if that does happen, the Nashville Predators are done. Like, honestly, you can't come back from triple overtime. That's
triple overtime.
That's 2 games stacked on top of each
Josh
other.
is calling out Adam. Now, Adam hasn't been able to respond to this. But Josh says, I told you guys, Adam. I told you guys Adam hates the Preds the most.
No, I don't hate the Preds. I respect what they're doing. I'm just saying it doesn't make for an exciting Stanley Cup final. I don't think they're good enough to keep up with the Penguins. And let's be honest, I don't think any team in the West is probably good enough to go with the Penguins. I think the best series of the playoffs just happened, and it was with Ottawa and Pittsburgh. And I don't think any other series is going to come close. And maybe even some of the series in the first round are Washington. But this one's not going to be an exciting series. I like this game is good. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, you love it. But if you're like just a hockey fan, not cheering for any team, and you're just like, I was thinking, okay, first period, yeah. Second period was somewhat boring. And then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh, goal. Yeah, fun to watch. But then you're like, I want to see more hockey. I want to see very good down-to-the-wire hockey. The first game was somewhat good for that, but I just don't think Predators are the team that match up well against, and it's proven right now in the last 2 games. Good on for the Predators. And also, the one thing I'll say too is before I did say the whole thing with teams with their first franchise appearance in a Stanley Cup final going against somewhat of a dynasty, they normally lose very quick. Ever since like 96, 97, we've seen the very first teams go in there, they lose very quick. And we saw it with Carolina when they made it to the Cup first. I think they lost to Detroit, and then they ended up winning the next time. I think Nashville is a very good team down the road. Yes, they're going to do well, but this isn't their year at all.
I feel like this is like the complete antithesis of the NBA season. The NBA
What are
playoffs.
you doing with those hats?
Hey, I am an analyst who likes to be different. All right, let me wear the
I'm
hat.
gonna shove those hats where the sun don't shine, bro. I'm
Bro,
gonna reach
come at me.
through I'm gonna reach through the webcam. I'm gonna grab those hats, put that sumbitch sideways, and shove it up your candy ass. How about that?
Hold on a second, just 1 second. I got the Austin 316 shirt. All right, this is not how it's gonna work. I will stone cold stunner, beer drinking.
Okay,
sunburst.
enough of this guy. Enough of this guy.
SmackDown review was yesterday, man. SmackDown review was yesterday.
Kev, what's
You can't
your
you
question?
can't mute me. I actually had a comment to
What's
say.
your question, Kev?
Well, to me, a couple of things that I think have been underestimated so far. I think.
Kev, you're shrinking. Where'd you
I
go?
know I'm shrinking. It's loud.
He's like the neighbor from Home Improvement. It's like, hi, how are you?
Where is he? Okay, anyway, let's get back on track here. Mike Sullivan, where do we put him in terms of best coaches in the NHL? You have him number 1.
It's hard to say too, because when you have that skilled players, those 2 players.
I don't know, but what if you? I don't really think like.
I'll give the GM more credit.
This is me personally. I don't think that the coach in hockey in the NHL matters that much. I think you just need to keep the players in line, and maybe you need to make a couple adjustments here and there. It's not like the NFL. It's more similar to
it's NFL, but I certainly think he's done a really good job with
He's
it.
done a great job for a coach, as much as a coach can do. But I don't think a coach. I think the players matter more, and I think Adam's right. The GM putting the players together matter more because at this point, what can you teach these players? Like it's more about putting them in place to do, and that's what Sullivan's really good at. He's a great motivator. He's good at maybe shaping the lines up when they need to be shaken up and doing a couple things here and there. I think what have you done for me lately? I think he's the best coach right now. Last 2 years?
Yeah, you have to say he technically is the best coach because he's about to win the last two Stanley Cups. But your buddy MT did say the right thing, though. To see your great coach, you have to see them on a different team at some point. Like, yes, give credit for those two Stanley Cups I'm still, okay, one right now, probably two. But yeah, you kind of have to see a coach on a different team. It's happened throughout the course of time. Scotty Bowman, Quinville, Sutter. But yeah, no.
I wouldn't say necessarily different teams, but like different groups of players.
Exactly.
Like if he stays on the Penguins, but he gets a group of players, then that's the same
But
thing.
and you got to give credit to the GM or whoever got like a Guentzel, a Shiri, a Ruedel.
Yeah, for sure. Because
you know what I mean? Because those guys were what? Those were
they're finding people out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Kev, what was that question? Was it the Mike Sullivan one?
Yes, that was the question.
Let's
Do you
not
have
forget
another
Mike
one?
Sullivan used to be the assistant.
Do I have
coach of the
another one?
Vancouver Canucks, so maybe nothing.
Well, I probably do, but I think we can move on to a couple of other things.
And can we just
have a good Kevo question? We love Kevo questions.
Can we just say the Canucks were 1-1-1 against Nashville Predators this season? So that's pretty
Bro,
decent.
that's 3 out of 6 points.
that's
All right,
it,
that's good. That's good.
Vancouver, baby. Moving on. Oh, let's go, guys.
Okay, let's go to – we haven't even talked about the stats. One thing that stood out to me in this game was the refs. They called a lot
They
of
actually called penalties.
They actually called some penalties. I was shocked when I saw 2 cross-checking penalties in the first period. We had a lame hooking on Malkin, some interference, 3 cross-checks in the first period, high sticking, and an interference in the second. We had another interference, a couple fighting calls, slashing. So there was a lot more penalties called in this game than in last game. I think there was maybe the same amount of penalties called in the first period in this game as there were the entire last game. And that's actually nice to see a little bit because you want to have the game kind of a little bit more under control because I don't want to see like players getting hurt out there. That Cullen hit, that should have been 4 minutes.
No, not at all.
That was ridiculous.
That was so close to the boards.
That was
a hockey
right
play.
on the back.
No, I know, but so close to the boards, and he turned. Like he was like this close to the boards. It wasn't gonna it was gonna hurt him because of force. It wasn't gonna hurt him that one when your neck's down or something. He was standing straight. I wouldn't call that a penalty. Not in the playoffs. He knew he was gonna get hit. I think Cherry said it the right way too. He knew he was gonna get hit. You're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. You got to brace for that hit. And he was so close to the boards that it's not the danger zone where he was.
Did somebody say the danger zone?
Dylan, what are you even doing?
He's in his graduation uniform, man. He's ready.
Yeah, he's playing
It's
dress up.
graduation time. Let's go. You know, I gotta put that out here.
Dylan, just for this, I'm gonna whoop your ass in GM mode tonight.
Let's go. By the way, if you don't know, watch GM mode, suckers. You gotta get on that episode after this review and the recap. So I like talking NHL, but I like whipping Mitch's ass on GM mode. Anyways,
Never happened ever. All right.
It has always happened. Season 3, baby.
Okay, so who do we want to say played good and bad? For Nashville, did anyone play great?
They just seem like they're in the background for me, personally. I
don't remember one player that played great. I will say the one thing I thought Nashville did really well was face-offs.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that was keeping them on the offense. They were able to win a lot of face-offs, especially in Pittsburgh's end. So definitely, I think that was the strong. No, that was the strong.
Well, no, I'm talking. Well,
their game. That was the strong suit of their game tonight, was the face-off dot. That kept them, in the offensive zone more than not. For Pittsburgh, Guentzel obviously had 2 goals, played a good game. Kunitz, another 2 assists, played a good game. Malkin had 9 penalty minutes, but also had a goal. I thought Malkin played pretty well overall. Kessel played a pretty good game, had a nice pass. Definitely a bounce back, had 4 shots. And actually, that last game was his first game in his playoff career where he didn't record a shot. So he definitely had a bounce back performance. Defensively, I thought Mata played like poop again. He can't skate.
This man goes off on them on the DMs.
Pittsburgh should seriously consider putting Ruhwedel in the lineup next game.
He has a concussion, man. They can't put Ruhwedel in.
Bro, because the only way the Predators are scoring right now is because Mata can't skate.
Is he protected, or will they have to protect him?
I don't know.
But
I'm just saying it's switching to a guy where Mata
he reminds me of Alex Edler.
Yeah, before he got sick, he was held in such high regard.
He reminds me of Alex Edler so much.
But I think Edler's quicker.
They're the same player to me.
No, Edler's quicker, but he gives away the puck like every single time.
Mata doesn't do that.
The opposition player. He will see the opposition player in the slot and go, "Here you go, perfect assist. Where's my assist? Oh, it's to the other team." Like
I will say the defenseman that did play well. Cole had a pretty decent game, had an assist. Daly, Schultz. Hainsey was quiet. I didn't really, think much of him, but he was a +2 in this game. I thought Pittsburgh overall had a decent game. They had their moments where they obviously dominated, but overall it was kind of a back and forth, but then Pittsburgh just exploded in the early third period and took the game. But I don't really remember a Nashville player that was like dominant out there, or like I really remember. I thought PK Subban had some good offense. Neal had 7 shots. Josi had 5 shots. Forsberg had 5 shots, but I don't really remember them being like memorable opportunities to score. Is that just me?
Here's the telltale stats, because the key matchup was the 2 centers, Crosby, Malkin, versus the 4D, Subban, Ekholm, Josi, Ellis. Let's look at these stats. Ellis -4, Josi -3, Ekholm -2, Subban 0. 1 point, I think, between the 4 of them. 1 or 2, 1, 2 game 1. And 0 and 0. So 2 points for those 4 defensemen, and a combined, it looks like -7 in 2 games so far. Can't win with that.
A lot of math there, Kevin. I was trying to interpret it all, but that's sign language issues.
Yeah.
For me, I just didn't see anybody in Nashville like standing out. I could not see anybody. I know there was not a lot of shot opportunities for them, but to me, Nashville just kind of played underwhelmingly. I know they played decently well for the first 2 periods, but I was, as a casual guy, the second period was absolutely boring. So I'm just putting that out there.
And I think that's why Nashville felt they had to take a bunch of chances to get more opportunities, and they felt like they were pressuring Pittsburgh in a lot of ways, but they weren't getting any opportunities to Murray, really. Nothing that was, other than the Auburn goal, there was nothing really spectacular of their opportunities, really. So it's, to me, last review, I mean, I had nothing really positive to say about Pittsburgh because I didn't think they played very well. But I really have nothing positive to say about Nashville today.
Berg is the only plus in Nashville during both these games. That's not a 0. He's a +1 in this entire 2-game series. He's the only one that's a plus for their entire team. He's a +1.
Yet I still am going to stand by this. I believe that they're going to win the next 2 games in Nashville. I just think that the crowd is going to help them out. I do. I think that the crowd, and I'm not like Adam. I don't think Rinne is as terrible as he's saying he is. I think he's going to have a bounce back game. He's gotten him here this far. He has been a quality goaltender over the years. I think Nashville's going to find a way to win the next 2 games. But the thing that is concerning is I think Pittsburgh can just take it to another level where Nashville can't. That's why I'm picking Pittsburgh to ultimately win.
I'm
One
gonna
thing
say
that
that I'm gonna say that they split.
Fair enough.
I'm saying Nashville will win game 3. That's my opinion.
Okay, can I bring up a stat for you guys?
Go ahead.
Jake Guentzel ranks 4th all time in rookie points in a single postseason.
That was the next point I was going to bring up. So we're thinking, reading my mind.
No, and that's
Yes.
great, but you just don't want him to turn out like Ville Lino.
No. Well, hopefully he doesn't. But he has 19 right now.
Ville Lino 24, I think, or 22 is the
21. The
21.
leader is 21. So he only needs 3 more points to do it. So hopefully he does that.
But I'm just saying, even that first place guy didn't end up doing anything. So,
It doesn't matter, bro. I just want him to do it. Is that okay?
no,
Leno was that second line guy for
it's just
Buffalo for
don't
years.
get defensive over here. I'm just
Adam
pointing out the
could
facts.
never, ever give support to Mitch.
No, I'm just saying. I just think it's I think he's a bit overrated in my opinion. He's gonna turn out like Ville Lino. I think he plays
I don't
with
know if
Crosby.
he's overrated or not. I just want to see the guy get points.
Nah, he's American.
He's from Nebraska, bro. He's from Omaha.
Isn't he from Minnesota?
Can you give the guy a
Oh,
break?
did you say Omaha? I need more Omaha in my system. I love the Peyton Manning, you
Isn't
know?
he from Minnesota?
I think he's from Nebraska, according to Wikipedia. I think he went to Minnesota University or something like that, or like his
Yeah,
dad
he's the-
coached there or something
Yeah,
like
'cause
that.
he was the stick kid for University of Minnesota when he was 8.
Something like that. But I'm pretty sure he's from Nebraska.
Hey, we need more wins for America. I'm saying we're talking, you know?
All right, anything else to talk about, guys? Fitty Trent's been quiet here today.
Fitty.
I mean, I have been quiet because basically you guys have been like saying everything. When you have a full cast, I mean, you gotta let the other personalities say their opinions, and you gotta let them have their growth. I'm super excited about Dilly Vanilli. I mean, he is our league hockey expert, so I needed to hear what he had to say first. So
Thank you.
Yeah, if you hate Dylan at this current point in time, tune in later tonight and see me whoop his ass in a video game. You will see that live.
The apartments are gonna know what's happening in the 12-12, you know.
What are you even saying?
Yeah, the
I
12-12.
I think you've been listening
All
too
right.
much. I think you've been listening to too much little Yachty or whatever the hell you're listening
Hey,
to.
no, I listened to it's more Drake. You got to get that Caribbean vibe to it.
You mean
Hey,
Canadian?
watch how you speak on my name. Watch how you speak on my name.
Okay, let's get to the chat. Josh
What's
says
doing for your
PK was the Preds' best player. Josh G says NBA Finals is going to be crazy tomorrow. So much hype. We're going to be doing a recap, right, Dylan?
I won't be game 1, but I will be back game 2. So Mitch,
I will be there.
hey, Mitch,
Yep.
you want company for that game recap?
Whoever wants to come on and join me, talk some b-ball. We can talk some b-ball.
I'll be there.
As long
Sorry,
as you
Brad,
don't
it's
say
graduation
anything
Eve.
negative about Kyrie, we're good.
Kyrie Irving is like the Phil Kessel. He sucks. All right, I'm kidding.
Bro, this man has handles for years. Okay, I will be back game 2. I got graduation eve. Plus, I'm going to go see Wonder Woman. So, sorry.
Yeah, Wonder Woman on Saturday. I'm excited for that. All right, anything else before we say goodbye?
A couple of things. Trent, I was talking about doing the expansion draft. It looks like the Golden Knights have got some trades on the move already.
Ooh, what's that? Can we fill the people in?
One of the reports out there is they got to deal with the Blackhawks about Trevor Van Riemsdyk and Marcus Kruger heading to the Golden Knights in exchange for some picks. What's also going to be interesting is also the actual draft. The number 1, number 2, and number 3 pick is apparently in play and could be traded. We could have a very wild NHL draft.
Hopefully the Canucks trade up.
Spooky.
We can only hope. We can only hope, man. If they trade down, I'm literally gonna go to Jim Benning's house and strangle him. Like that's
If we
all.
trade up, the first pick will turn out to be like Alexander Dagel or whatever his name is.
Someone from Sweden or some shit. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
the one I just heard of.
2.0.
Yeah,
Tune
Dave
into the
Fox.
GM mode right after this. Tune into the NBA Finals recap tomorrow night. That's going to be me and Trent and maybe somebody else if they want to join. Also, video coming out tomorrow, the episode number 4 of the Top 100. Make sure you tune into that. Thank you guys for joining us for the Pittsburgh Penguins Nashville Predators game number 2 recap. I want to give a clap to Kev, who kept his eyes open for 80% of the video. That's in record. Thank you, bro. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
You're
Peace
number
out.
one, bitch.